Rey is often called the Last Jedi, but here's the facts that no one likes to talk about. Rey was never truly a Jedi at all. Not because she lacked power, not because she lacked good intentions, because she never embodied what being a Jedi actually meant. Because being a Jedi was never just about wielding a lightsaber or lifting rocks or even using the Force. It was about discipline, struggle, failure, and transformation. And when you examine Rey's journey closely, something doesn't add up. If you're enjoying my content, please subscribe and like this video. And if you'd like to become a member, I have 5 levels of membership that you can join if you'd like extra content. Before talking about Rey, we need to define the standard. A Jedi is not simply a Force user aligned with the light. A Jedi is shaped by long-term training, deep philosophical struggle, emotional confrontation, failure that forces growth. The Jedi path is not easy. It is restrictive, demanding, and often painful. Luke struggled, Anakin struggled, Obi-Wan struggled, even Yoda struggled. Their power was forged through loss and discipline, not instant mastery. So the question isn't, is Rey powerful? The question is, did Rey even walk the Jedi path? Rey displays remarkable Force abilities almost immediately. She mind tricks a trained interrogator, she defeats a dark side warrior with minimal training, and she matches Kylo Ren again and again. But power alone does not make a Jedi. Every great Jedi paid a price for their power. Luke lost his hand. Anakin lost everything. Obi-Wan lost his master. Yoda lost his entire order. Rey? She loses very little that permanently reshapes her. Struggle is temporary, failure is brief, consequences rarely last. Without sacrifice, power becomes talent, not transformation. Traditionally, Jedi face trials of patience, of fear, of self-knowledge, of sacrifice. Luke fails repeatedly before succeeding. Anakin is denied rank. Obi-Wan is tested by loss and obedience. Rey is never denied, never humbled, never forced to confront limitation. Even when she doubts herself, the story reassures her almost immediately. A Jedi is forged by resistance. Rey often flows around it. Of course, the Jedi were flawed, but they understood something crucial. Emotion must be confronted, not indulged. Rey's emotional journey is inconsistent. She forms deep bonds quickly. She feels rage, fear, attachment, and aggression, but rarely reflects on them. Her anger is often justified rather than examined. Contrast this with Luke. Luke's rage nearly damns him. He stops himself, throws away his weapon, rejects violence. Rey only wins because of her anger. That's not a Jedi mastery. That's Force instinct. Rey's bond with Kylo Ren is framed as balance, but it's deeply problematic. She trusts him repeatedly. She defends him emotionally. She ignores clear warning signs. A Jedi is meant to perceive truth clearly. Rey consistently allows emotion to cloud judgment without consequence. When Anakin did this, it led to catastrophe. When Rey does it, the story bends to reward her. That's not the Jedi path, that's narrative exception. Rey's formal Jedi training is minimal. Luke refuses her. Leia trains her briefly. Ancient texts exist, but we rarely see discipline applied. Compare this to Luke. Years of self-doubt, physical limitation, philosophical challenge. Rey gains knowledge rapidly, but wisdom slowly, if at all. The Jedi Order believed mastery took time for a reason. Without structure, power becomes unstable. Rey fits a different archetype better. A Force savant. Naturally gifted, highly intuitive, emotionally driven. But Jedi were never meant to rely on instinct alone. Instinct without discipline leads to imbalance. That's why the Jedi emphasize control even to a fault. Rey skips the control phase entirely. Every true Jedi faces darkness and chooses against it. Luke refused to kill Vader. Obi-Wan accepts exile rather than compromise. And Yoda retreats rather than dominate. Rey flirts with darkness but never truly rejects it through sacrifice. Her temptation scenes resolve quickly. Her internal conflict fades fast. A Jedi's defining moment is refusal. Rey rarely refuses power. The lightsaber is not a weapon, it's a symbol. Luke throws his away, Anakin loses his, Obi-Wan surrenders his fate. Rey treats the lightsaber as inheritance, not burden. She claims the symbol without earning its meaning. That matters. By the end, Rey claims the Jedi identity by name, but Jedi identity is not self-declared. It's recognized through conduct. The Jedi did not crown themselves heroes, they lived by restraint. Rey claims the title without redefining its costs. Rey represents hope, resilience, and potential, but she represents Force balance, not Jedi philosophy. She is closer to a guardian of the Force than a student of the Jedi Order, and that's okay, but it means something important. Calling Rey a Jedi may misunderstand her role entirely. When Rey is labeled the Last Jedi, it implies continuation, but she does not continue Jedi teachings, she simplifies them. And in doing so, the meaning is diluted. The Jedi were flawed, but they were complex. Rey inherits their symbol, not their struggle. Star Wars is about legacy. If the Jedi path becomes effortless, if mastery has no cost, if power requires no discipline, then the myth loses weight. Rey's journey skips the hardest part, and that weakens the idea of the Jedi. This is not an attack on Rey, it's a critique of how Jedi was redefined. Rey didn't fail to be a Jedi, the story failed to make her earn it. So ask yourself, if Rey never faced true restraint, never paid lasting consequence, never rejected power at a great cost, was she ever truly walking the Jedi path? Or was she something else entirely? Something new, something undefined, but not a Jedi? Maybe Rey shouldn't be called a Jedi at all. Maybe she represents the end of the Jedi concept, not its continuation. And if that's true, then the Jedi Order didn't return, it quietly faded away. If you haven't seen my last video, you should really check it out. It's really fantastic. And remember, the Force will be with you always.